was on my mind. My beautiful teeth. I haven't brushed them in 4 days. That's somewhat of a disgrace. It's a good thing I don't do drugs. Well, I smoke weed. I guess I could be getting some tar stains on my teeth from smoking pipe tobacco, I suppose, as well. That's all about to end. Keys to Home, it wasn't DESC, and I can assure you, it wasn't anything but with the love and the help of the homeless community that I got the keys. It had nothing to do with any of these organizations, I can assure you. Just because these benefits are available doesn't mean that they're benefits that are available, because none of these charities work together. If you can imagine it, just think of it this way. When's the last time you heard of an interfaith Congress? It was in the 1890s. There have been some semblances of that since then, but there has never been an assemblage, of people that actually represent the core of what's supposed to be our human spirituality. So these false prophets that are the leaders of our, microcosms that we live in. I mean, we live in these small little enterprises, these small little hives where we resonate the same way with people in our own community that swarm the way that we do. It's about the analogy of what happens when a hornet goes into a bee's nest. Well, it's a bad day for the fucking hornet. And so, I suppose you would feel the same way if you were a young Mormon kid on a bicycle going into a black hood for the first time. All right, and then what? Where do you stop and start to chat? You can't. No, but I do think that it's necessary, not just interfaith, that, as a community we need to interact. And how can we interact when now everybody's in charge of everyone? If you look around, everyone's got a security patch on. Everyone's telling everyone what to do. I had a woman stop the other day because the napkin fell out of my hand, and she didn't know that there was a boot bag in the left one and a backpack on my back, and that I had a lot of things concerned with my leashless dog in traffic. To be concerned about a napkin that blew out of my hand where she told me that I was loitering, and I had to correct her that I was littering and that she was illiterate, and we didn't get too far before I told her to go fuck off. And so that seemed to resonate real well with her nonsense and her ignorance. And that has nothing to do with really anything except for the fact that everybody's agitated. I don't want to take direction from any security people, and I don't want police officers to be yelling or adjudicating justice out of the windows of cars while they're driving by. Put your dog on a leash. Listen, man, you want to stop and have a chat with me, then stop and have a chat with me. Every police officer in the city of Seattle has seen my dog walk in cadence through the white lines as he's supposed to, and he waits for the lights to change. He actually makes all of us wait for the light to change before we cross because he's so well trained. So maybe I am stupider than the dog because I use the word stupider instead of more stupid. But this interfaith Congress is really important to me personally, because since no man of cloth has came down and asked me or ministered to me, I didn't really need it because I've read the book a few times myself. And I've read the other ones as well. And it seems that the similarities are all that they're managed by different social edicts that are related to whatever culture it is that is really imaginary. Culture is imaginary. We're all human beings. If we're dropped into another culture, we adapt to that culture. That means that culture is imaginary. So imagine that. Imagine if your culture didn't exist. It doesn't anymore if you're Serbian. Okay, imagine if your culture doesn't exist. Oh, it doesn't anymore if you're Somalian. Imagine if your culture doesn't exist. What the fuck is going on over there in Syria? The breadbasket of the world, destroying all of what we have of antiquity left. And then the evangelical Lutherans calling for the end of Jewish occupation of Judea. How funny is that? And the Methodists blackballing Jewish banks. Now we're getting back to what? Anti-Semitism, because it's convenient. Now, why don't we look at the homicide rate for what? Oh, the lights go off as the sun comes up. Here we go again. Well, I suppose it is, that little toy that we talked about, Walter, the other day. So conveniently, where the children could play the 1, 2, and 3s. There's a man sleeping over there that needs to be woken up now. So, I guess I'm done. Hey, morning. I guess I'll call it a cut for now. So we'll see how deep this cuts. if you're a man of cloth, I suppose, you better be putting your big boy pants on, because you all boys are going to go to work on this homeless situation. I guarantee it.